billion worth of projects throughout the state, about 100 New Jersey Department of Transportation construction projects, 200 New Jersey DOT design contracts, and scores of transit projects are funded in whole or in part by the TTF. The bottom line is you can't pay the bills when you have no money, and that's essentially the position we're in. Our average monthly drawdown from the TTF to cover projects, costs, and salaries are roughly $125 million per month. Today, only about $50 million remains in the TTF. Every cent of it is needed to cover the next debt service payment due in December.
The financial goal of this transaction is quite simply to maximize new money proceeds for previously authorized transportation projects, given the trust fund's $895 million 2011 appropriation, the existing debt service schedule, maturity limitations, and the current availability of the Build America Bond program's annual 35% interest cost subsidy. The refunding restructuring transaction before you, based on current market conditions, meets or exceeds all applicable legal requirements. It generates at least 3% net present value savings totaling $15.2 million.
About $50 million in the fund left in place, which is about 2 weeks left to go. Why the drama and the crisis? Why'd you send a message and send out emails to everybody, try to scare tactics when you have $50 million? There's no today, you didn't need to add to the 10% unemployment.
We thought there was about $300 million that we had borrowed from the general fund, and after the shut, so we had about $100 million. We thought we had about $100 million. We looked at the numbers again, we had $50 million. And the borrowing right now from the general fund to the trust fund, we thought was $300 million, so we figured we had another $100 million. Now it's closer to $350, and we're still getting numbers as we speak, so we're, the situation has gotten bigger.
But you didn't need to shut down today. You had money to keep going today, correct?
Not really, because if you think about it, we've got an obligation for the end of the year for the salaries that come out of the...
Mr. Simpson, I'm asking a question today. You just testified in your opening statement of $50 million available right now. There was no reason to shut down today, correct?
That's not correct.
We're worried about paying the mortgages, and this is something, and if you look at the timeline, and I'll share the timeline with you in a little bit, it's something we will work together and work through, but I think we all could do without the drama, knowing that there is dollars to keep projects going. As he just said, there's $50 million sitting there.
I, Brett Schiller,
Do swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that the testimony you are about to give is true, correct, and complete,
that the testimony I'm about to give is true, correct, and complete,
to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief.
to the best of my information, knowledge, and belief.
Please.
My point had been clear. I did not give any numbers to the reviewers. And yet Rich wanted me to say that I had. And in a letter to the United States Secretary of Education, no less. I now feared I was being set up. Rich was with the governor when he gave his press conference. He probably cringed when the governor misspoke, just as I did when I read the transcript. The governor's misstatement could easily become an embarrassment. I feared they were setting me up as a scapegoat.
Can you just reiterate it?
He said he talked about the fact that he had read the Star Ledger account, and then he had heard Jim Gearhart that morning. That Gearhart was saying that he had caved in to the union on these points. And he had said that it was, he had been demeaned by the union, that all of their attacks on him, he was not going through the fire with all of their attacks on him, merely, to cave into the union. And he said that emphatically
Bottom line is this. New Jersey has gone for too long and for too many decades ordering things that they can't pay for. Now, this project has some flaws to it, which have been pointed out by a number of folks, both in the media and in the transportation world. But in the end, this decision is a financial decision. When weighing all the interests, I simply cannot put the taxpayers of the state of New Jersey on what would be a never-ending hook. You see, because the federal government made very clear to me back in February, in a meeting that I had with Secretary LaHood, that $3 billion was all the federal government was prepared to fund and not a penny more. I liked this project initially because I want to see mass transit utilized more. I think it was flawed because it was sent to a place where there are no other connections for any other trains, where we'd have to spend in excess of $1 billion to build a station, and that there was no connection in that station to other trains on the east side of Manhattan at Grand Central, or even over to Penn Station or Moynihan. So there were flaws in the plan, but it was a plan that Governor Corzine had put forward and had approved and had full funding, or so I was told, for that entire project. And under those circumstances, in the midst of the campaign, I said I would be supportive of it and would continue it. But now, when you're talking about $2.3 to $5 billion more, the state simply doesn't have the money.